The 10 most scandalous and shocking facts about Pat Buchanan. Patrick J. Buchanan, a conservative political commentator and former presidential candidate, has had a long and controversial career. Known for his sharp rhetoric and staunch views, Buchanan has often been at the center of political and social debates. This video delves into 10 of the most scandalous and shocking facts about Pat Buchanan, revealing the complexities and controversies that have shaped his public image. Fact number 1. Early life, personal choices, and Watergate scandal. Patrick Joseph Buchanan was born on November 2, 1938, in Washington, D.C., into a devout Catholic family as the third of 9 children. His father, William Buchanan, was a successful accountant, and his mother, Catherine, was a nurse. Raised with strict religious and conservative values, Buchanan attended Gonzaga College High School and later Georgetown University, where he studied English and philosophy. In 1971, Buchanan married Shelley Scarnay, a lawyer and political activist, who played a significant role in his life and career, supporting him through his political campaigns and media endeavors. Buchanan's early career was closely tied to the Nixon administration, where he served as a speechwriter and advisor. During the Watergate scandal, Buchanan was one of the few aides who stayed loyal to President Richard Nixon, even drafting a speech urging Nixon to destroy the White House tapes. Although he was not directly implicated in the Watergate break-in, Buchanan's involvement in the administration during this tumultuous period left a lasting mark on his career, showcasing his loyalty and political acumen. Number 2. The infamous Culture War speech. On August 17, 1992, during the Republican National Convention in Houston, Pat Buchanan delivered a speech that would become a defining moment in his political career, known as the Culture War speech. Buchanan declared, "There is a religious war going on in our country for the soul of America," passionately criticizing abortion, gay rights, and what he saw as the erosion of traditional family values. His rhetoric resonated deeply with cultural conservatives, asserting that the agenda of the opposition is not America's agenda. However, the speech also alienated moderates and liberals, who viewed it as divisive and exclusionary. This moment cemented Buchanan's image as a staunch defender of conservative values but also marked him as a polarizing figure in American politics. The speech had lasting implications, influencing the direction of conservative rhetoric and policies for decades to come. Number 3. Holocaust Controversy. In 1983, Pat Buchanan became embroiled in a controversy that would follow him for years when he publicly defended John Demjanjuk, a Ukrainian-American auto worker accused of being Ivan the Terrible, a brutal Nazi guard at the Treblinka extermination camp. Buchanan wrote several columns questioning the evidence against Demjanjuk, arguing that he was being wrongfully accused. In one particularly controversial article, Buchanan suggested that the gas chambers at Treblinka might not have been used as described by survivors, a statement that led to widespread accusations of Holocaust denial. These comments provoked outrage from Jewish groups and Holocaust survivors, and Buchanan's defense of Demjanjuk significantly tarnished his public image. Despite Buchanan's denials of Holocaust denial, the controversy cast a long shadow over his political and media career, fueling ongoing criticism and impacting his legacy. Number 4. The presidential campaigns. Pat Buchanan's bids for the presidency were marked by controversy and fervent nationalism. His first major run came in 1992 when he challenged incumbent President George H.W. Bush in the Republican primaries. Buchanan's campaign was fueled by anger over Bush's broken no new taxes pledge and dissatisfaction with his foreign policy, particularly in relation to the Gulf War. Buchanan's slogan, "America First," harkened back to the isolationist movement of the 1940s and resonated with a segment of the electorate who felt disillusioned by the political establishment. Although Buchanan ultimately lost the nomination, he captured nearly 23% of the vote in New Hampshire, signaling a significant base of support. Buchanan ran again in 1996, winning the New Hampshire primary and securing a substantial portion of the Republican vote, though he once again failed to win the nomination. In 2000, Buchanan ran as the Reform Party candidate, selecting conservative activist Izola Foster as his running mate. This campaign focused on non-interventionism, opposition to free trade, and stringent immigration policies. Although Buchanan's campaigns were unsuccessful, They left a lasting impact on the conservative movement, particularly in terms of his America First rhetoric and nationalist policies. Number 5. The Salad Incident. In 1996, while campaigning for the Republican presidential nomination, Pat Buchanan faced an unusual and memorable protest during a rally in Manchester, New Hampshire. As Buchanan delivered a speech outlining his controversial views on immigration and race, a protester in the audience hurled a salad at him, hitting him in the face. The incident, which quickly became known as the Salad Incident, was captured on camera and became a media sensation. The protester, later identified as a local college student, was expressing disdain for Buchanan's hardline stance on immigration, which many viewed as xenophobic. The incident underscored the polarizing nature of Buchanan's candidacy and the strong reactions he provoked from both supporters and detractors. Buchanan later joked about the incident, but it served as a reminder of the intense opposition he faced from certain segments of the population. Number 6. Media career, provoking debates. Pat Buchanan's media career took off in the late 1970s and early 1980s, with a major breakthrough in 1982 when he joined CNN's Crossfire. Known for its heated debates between conservative and liberal hosts, Buchanan quickly became a prominent conservative voice, unafraid to tackle controversial issues like affirmative action and U.S. foreign policy. His sharp wit and unapologetic stances solidified his reputation as a leading conservative figure. Buchanan later continued his media career on MSNBC's Morning Joe and other programs, consistently challenging the status quo and shaping public discourse on contentious topics like immigration and nationalism, leaving a lasting impact on American political commentary. Number 7. Opposition to military interventions. Pat Buchanan has been a steadfast critic of U.S. military interventions, championing a non-interventionist foreign policy throughout his career. He opposed the Gulf War in 1991, arguing that the conflict was not in America's national interest and warning that it would lead to unnecessary loss of life and resources. Buchanan's stance, though at odds with much of the Republican establishment, found support among voters who were skeptical of foreign entanglements. Consistent with his earlier views, Buchanan also opposed the Iraq War in 2003, predicting a prolonged and costly occupation with no clear benefit to the U.S. His isolationist approach, rooted in the old right tradition, has made him a divisive figure within the Republican Party, contrasting sharply with the neoconservative faction that has dominated in recent decades. Number 8. Relations with authoritarian leaders. Pat Buchanan has not hesitated to express admiration for authoritarian leaders, notably praising Francisco Franco and Vladimir Putin. He lauded Franco, the Spanish dictator who ruled from 1939 until his death in 1975, for preserving Spanish nationalism and Catholicism, despite the repressive nature of Franco's regime and the widespread human rights abuses committed under his rule. Buchanan's favorable view of Franco has been a source of significant controversy. Similarly, Buchanan has supported Vladimir Putin, particularly admiring Putin's stance against Western liberalism and his efforts to promote Russian nationalism. These positions have led to accusations that Buchanan supports repressive regimes, though he denies this, framing his views as a defense of nationalism and traditional values against the perceived excesses of liberal democracy. This admiration for authoritarian figures has only added to Buchanan's reputation as a polarizing and controversial figure in American politics. Number 9. Anti-immigration advocacy. Pat Buchanan's firm stance on immigration, particularly his opposition to non-European immigration, has been a consistent and controversial part of his career. He advocated for strict reductions in immigration levels, the construction of a border wall, and ending birthright citizenship, viewing these measures as necessary to protect American culture and identity. Though seen as extreme during the 1990s and early 2000s, Buchanan's views gained traction within the conservative movement, especially during the Trump era. His rhetoric, often criticized as xenophobic, has nonetheless shaped the national conversation on immigration and left a lasting impact on U.S. politics. Number 10. Lasting influence on conservative politics. Pat Buchanan has left a significant legacy in American conservative politics, despite his controversies. His advocacy for nationalism, protectionism, and cultural conservatism has influenced the direction of the Republican Party, particularly in recent populist movements. The America First slogan he popularized during his 1990s presidential campaigns became a cornerstone of modern conservative rhetoric, especially during the Trump administration. Buchanan's emphasis on border security, opposition to free trade, and skepticism of foreign alliances have become key elements of conservative ideology, cementing his role as a lasting and influential figure in American politics.